Welcome to the newest home in Fort Kent. Today we're having a grand opening of this new home. There's a whole celebration here. We're getting ready to throw a ribbon cutting ceremony for the new home. Although the home is really, at least the goal is to not have too many residents in the home, but unfortunately there is at the moment. Somebody is already moved in. But to talk about the home, we will be talking to the officers that are directly involved in this particular project. People are really gathering together for this grand opening. There's actually going to be a ribbon cutting, and then there's a snack, and then there's supposed to be an award given out to one of the directors who has been a long-time committed person to this organization. So here we have the president, the president of Valley Cat Haven, or it's PAWS, right?
That's correct.
What, your name?
My name is Laura Nickerson.
Laura Nickerson. Are you from Fort Kent, Laura?
I am not from Fort Kent. We actually moved here about 3 years ago for my husband to work at the local hospital, and I teach at UMFK.
Do you? What do you teach at UMFK?
I am a nursing instructor, an adjunct part-time nursing instructor.
I'm a little familiar with the nursing program in the school because I worked there for 30 some odd years.
Oh wow! No, I didn't know that.
I know. But it's great. So are you enjoying the nursing program?
I am actually. It's really nice to have that flexibility in scheduling, so I can spend some time here doing things that I'm passionate about as well. You know, I'm passionate about my professional life, but I'm also pretty passionate about cats.
No, where does the passion come from?
I'm not sure. I've always had cats. My family has always had them. We've always enjoyed them, and I think part of being a nurse is that wanting to help. You know, I've always had passion for nursing, and when I realized my passion for cats could translate as well, I think it was an easy switch for me.
Now, did you have cats at the home growing up?
Always, yeah. We always had a cat. Our house wasn't a home without a cat.
Well, it certainly has followed through because
Yes, it has.
I mean I saw today at the ribbon cutting and the people that have spoken of PAWS itself really have spoken about your dedication and your hard work.
Oh, that's very warming.
And it was very flattering. You should be complimented on what you've done. How did the move, because the shelter was over by the police station prior to this.
Yeah.
How did you negotiate getting a new building?
It was a very long, tough, labor-intensive process, but I think everybody involved was passionate, so that kind of gave you the energy to pursue things even when it looked a little shaky. And you know, unfortunately none of us know really a whole lot about construction and a whole lot about buying and putting up shelters, so it was a real learning process for all of us. But fortunately, you know, most of the business people, most of the people in the community, St. John Valley Tech, they were really willing to work with us and work through things and try to do the best they could for us, so that I felt like everybody was very reasonable to deal with. And, you know, when we made missteps, we stepped back and we looked at it and said, okay, well, that's not going to work. Let's find something else that does work.
Well, certainly the people that I've met today and the people that I know of that are on your board, I'm assuming you call it a board of directors.
Yes, it is, yeah.
These are people that I've known for a long time, and they've been committed to PAWS down to having cats in the office. I mean, I heard that earlier, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And so, there's a dedication. Now, how about the town itself?
The town has been very good to
supportive?
us. Yes, they have. Certainly just from allowing us to use this space. I mean, that alone enabled us to save the money that we were required to do this. I mean, this was a big financial commitment, and for a small group, we really needed to be able to bank we didn't want to ever run in the red. We didn't want to put the organization at any risk, so we wanted to make sure we had that budget in place. And being able to stay there, they took care of our heating bills and our light bills, which is a huge savings for us. So we were able to put all of that right into here. Then, the security of having the police nearby and monitoring who was coming and who was going was, of course, fantastic. So when we went to the board the town council this past year, they were even able able to support us a little bit financially as well. So we've been really, really lucky with that. And as you can see, Don Guimond has been very vocal and very supportive of us, both personally and professionally.
Now, if you're a board of directors, I'm assuming that there's some kind of a membership.
There is, yes.
And how do people get involved? I mean, how do they get? Because a lot of people have an interest in cats and welfare of animals, and how would they get involved with PAWS to be a volunteer here?
I think one of the big things that we were able to do over the last couple of years that I think really speaks to that is get involved in social media and being able to kind of put the word out on Facebook. We have a really active Facebook page with a lot of people participating and commenting and talking to us and asking what we need. And that's really made a difference for us. So if anybody wanted to volunteer with us, they can check our website, which is Our Valley PAWS. They can check on Facebook and send us a message. All of our contact information is on there, and any board member can help with that. We have a huge, wonderful, broad base of volunteers that are really, really welcoming. They're fantastic. They come here all hours of the day and the night to help us out because we're 100% volunteers. So, the rest, we all do have lives, even the board. We have to exist and we have to continue, but we want to make sure the cats are safe and cared for. So that's what we really rely on our volunteers for.
So it's easy to become a volunteer.
Very easy, yes.
Now, what if I was interested in adopting a cat?
Well, you certainly can contact anybody. Through Facebook, we usually post a lot of pictures of our cats. We use the Pet Finder website, so all of our current available cats are always listed, and you can just email us, text us, call us, contact us on Facebook, and we can give you information and find the right fit, because that's sort of our big commitment, is making sure we're getting the right fit. Any adoption is always a trial. We don't judge here. If it doesn't go well, they come back, we'll find them a new home, and we'll find a cat that does fit for them.
So actually, if somebody adopts a cat, then it just doesn't work out. They can bring it back. They contact you.
We would absolutely prefer that they would bring it back to us. We know the cat, we know its history, and it's much more reasonable for us to manage. And sometimes fits aren't good. Sometimes you have another animal in the home and they don't get along. It has nothing to do with the home. It's just the cat, and that's okay. We want everybody to be happy, not just the cats.
Now, how many cats do you currently have?
Right now, I believe we have 7 in the shelter. We did have one adoption this morning, so we're down to 6. We have several in foster care. One of the goals in having the shelter, though, is to decrease the amount of cats that were in foster care and the stress that it puts on our volunteers. Because when you have multiple cats in foster care, it's a lot of work for them. So being able to have a little more space here so that when we're full, we can accommodate that. So about 7 now, and I think we have 3 in foster care.
The shelter itself, now that you've got your new building, how many can you accommodate reasonably and safely?
Reasonably and safely, and that's something we've really talked a lot about. I think we could certainly pack it to the rafters, but that's not going to do the cats any good, or the volunteers any good, or the community any good. So right now we have capacity probably for 15. However, I would think that our true operating capacity is about 12. Any more than that, and it becomes very hard for the volunteers to clean and to take care of the cats. So 15 would be an extenuating circumstance. I would say 12, and that was 8 at our last shelter. So it's given us a little bit more cushion.
I guess. Well, thank you, Laura, and thank you for all you're doing, not just for the community, not just for the cats, but I guess to the people in the area by finding them good homes. And at the start, you said you were from somewhere, but you never mentioned the town.
Well, I am a long-term Army brat, so I am originally from Nova Scotia by way of about 10 provinces and 5 states, and we ended up in here in northern Maine when my daughter transferred to the Maine School of Math and Science, and we came up with her to be a little closer.
Is she enjoying it?
She loves it. She's a junior, fixing to graduate next year, and absolutely loves it.
And what's her long-term plan?
She actually wants to be a physician. Right now she's exploring some of the military academies and some of the top universities that teach medicine. We couldn't be happier. It worked out perfectly for us,
Well, thank you. Thank you again.
No,
it was a real pleasure.
No problem.
And good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And here at the animal shelter today, one of the officers, or the directors, I guess, of the animal shelter is?
Jean Cobb.
Jean Cobb.
Yeah.
Are you from Fort Kent, Jean?
Well, I live in St. Agathe.
You do?
And I moved up here from southern Maine about 9 years ago. So I'm not from here originally, but I am an original Mainer.
You're a Mainer?
Yes, yes.
Now, what got you involved with the animal shelter?
Well, I've always been into cat rescue. When I was in Southern Maine, I belonged to Friends of Feral Felines, okay? And then when Chris Daigle decided that we needed to start helping some cats back in 2008, she looked for people to help, and several of us signed up, and that's how I got involved with these particular cats.
Now, is this the whole organization? First of all, I think the organization is called PAWS.
PAWS Animal Welfare Society, Inc. is the total
Okay,
name.
what does PAWS, P-A-W-S, what does it stand for?
It really doesn't. It doesn't stand for anything.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, it's just making reference to the cats themselves.
That's right. And I guess this is a name that we took over from another charter. It wasn't a name we came up with. You could shorten it. We often shorten it and say PAWS, and that could stand for PAWS Animal Welfare Society. Okay, so but it's redundant if you use the whole name and say PAWS stands for
Yeah.
PAWS Animal Society.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit strange.
Well, now is this an all-volunteer type
Yes.
of organization?
All volunteer. Nobody gets paid anything, and we use all our money for the cats. I mean, if we transport cats or if we do something, we use our own money. We use our own personal money. We don't spend any money from PAWS.
Now, what actually happens here? I mean, I see in the background it says Valley Cat Heaven.
Haven.
Oh,
Yes.
Haven.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, Haven. Is this and you know the PAWS refers to shelter, and how do you get the cats in the first place?
Okay, what we do is we focus on two things. Helping homeless cats. We find out about homeless cats because people call us and they say, you know, there's a cat here, it looks like it's homeless, it's been around my house for 2 or 3 weeks, I thought it might belong to someone, obviously it doesn't. And we find them on the street, and this is what we do. We don't take surrenders. People saying, well, I have these 3 cats, I'm moving, I can't keep them. We're concentrating on the unwanted cats that are out on the street, and there are a number of them.
So if somebody has cats and they're moving, or something happens where they have to
They
give the
can't
cats
keep them.
away, they
Yes.
have to give them away. You're not taking responsibility of bringing them in to the
no,
shelter.
we can't, because we have a very small shelter, and we really, that's the resources that we have to be dedicated to helping the cats that are literally homeless at the moment. Now, what we do is we help those people that are looking to find a home by advertising the cat on our Facebook page, and saying, okay, these 2 cats need a new home. As a matter of fact, someone called me the other day about that. And so we'll help them that way. But we can't take our shelter space and use it, because we wouldn't, then we never know when we have someone who needs a cat that needs to be taken in. So if we have a room full of cats that, because somebody's moving, we can't help those cats.
Yeah.
So that's not what our purpose is. Our other concentration is on spay and neuter, because the cats that are homeless are the symptom. The fact that they are breeding indiscriminately, it means that we need more spay and neuter. So we have spay and neuter clinics. We obviously spay and neuter and give medical treatment to any cat that comes into our rescue place as well.
So a cat that's actually taken in here, one of the first things that happens is that they get spayed or neutered?
They get examined to see if they have any health issues, because we don't want them to be put under. We don't want them to be operated on until they're healthy. Okay, and then we after that they have clearance for that. We give them shots, we get them spayed, we get them neutered. Sometimes they need their teeth cleaned. There's a number of things that we do to help them out before they get adopted. We want them to have a clean bill of health before they're adopted.
Good. And then once you have a home, because I think there was a lady here this morning who was inquiring anyway about adopting a cat.
Yeah.
Is it a long process to adopt the cat, or how does a person get to adopt a cat?
It's not a long process. She did contact us about seeing. They usually come by appointment to see the cats first. They decide they like a particular cat. They often say, I'd like to come and see X cat, and then when they come in, they decide they like another cat instead. So they come and look at the cats, and then they say, okay, I'd like to adopt this particular cat. And we give them an adoption form that we screen and process. Then after we're convinced that this would be a good match for the cat and for the person. And we also stipulate that if something goes wrong, you know, it doesn't work, we'd want the cat back because we don't want them in an unhappy situation. And then when they actually adopt the cat, usually 2 or 3 days later, it's $30, and they've already been spayed, neutered, and had all their medical treatments.
Is the spade and neutering done here at the clinic?
Well, we don't. We have to take it to a veterinarian, just like you would have to. But we don't have a clinic here to actually do it. So we do it with a veterinarian, usually with Fort Kent Animal Hospital, and then we have another veterinarian that actually comes to the shelter and checks them when they first come in, and can give them shots and can give them medical treatments. But these operations have to be done at an animal hospital.
Well, thank you, Jean. Thank you very much. This is wonderful. It certainly is a good service, I think, to the community and certainly to prospective parents.
Absolutely it is. So this is the thing I'd like to leave people with. We not only are helping the cats, we make a lot of people happy that take the cats into their home, and we help people who don't know what to do. Here's this cat, I can't afford to keep it, I don't know what to do with it, can you help me? So we help people and we help cats.
Well, thank you very much, Jean.
You're welcome.
So now that the ribbon cutting ceremony is completed, now we have one of the directors of PAWS here with us. And your name is?
My name is Connie Michaud. I'm the secretary of PAWS. And I'd like to explain to you why we chose this particular template for our logo. Actually, it was an art class by Lulu Pelletier at the Market Street Co-op one Friday evening, and she was having us do sunsets. So I decided, since I like cats so much, to do one with a cat in it. And I had no idea it was going to spin off to be our logo until Chris Daigle picked up on my 18 by 16 original, and she said, wouldn't this be a fantastic logo for our new shelter, Valley Cat Haven? So actually we call the old shelter the shelter, and this the Haven. So this is called Valley Cat Haven, and we brought the artwork to Tracy Hart, and he worked on it, and he decided to make one 5 foot by 2.5 feet, and we also have a smaller one beneath the window at the Haven here. But I think it came out really nice, and I want to thank Tracy for his prompt delivery of the sign. He was here at 7 o'clock this morning putting the sign up for this event. Thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you, Don.
Now, Connie, let me ask Connie. This is a new center. It's a new shelter.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Where was it prior to this?
Prior to this, it was behind the town hall, the police department, which was nice. We had security from the police there for people not to drop any cats off. But actually, it's right behind the police station, and it was a part of a semi tractor trailer truck, and we had no water. We had, like Jean said a while ago, we had no water or sewer there, and we had to make makeshift, no floor. But we've come a long ways, and it's with a vision of people like Chris Daigle and Jean and Laura, who's our president now, and Jean Netto. I don't want to miss anybody, but the board is very Lisa Bernier, Lisa DeVoe, Polly Jackson. That's all the board members, and we work together as a team, and it's really fun to do it. And it's fun to bring the quality of life of these families that adopt the cats. They learn responsibility for the young children, and it makes for a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Now, how did you get the funds? I mean, this is a very nice building. You know, how did you get the funds, even for the property itself?
Okay, we've managed to pull through 3 or 4 grants. We combined 3 of us, Laura, myself, and Jean, to write the grants, and Chris Daigle helps too. So we had a lot of funds coming in through grants, and the donations have been pouring in, like Emerson and Norma Milton from Caribou Halfway Home Pet Rescue. and the donations have been coming in, and actually the labor for this building was free. It was donated by the St. John Valley Tech Center in Friendville, and under Charles, the teacher there. He kept the students in gear. They would work like 2 hours a day, so it took quite a while. But as you see inside, if you go inside, you might want to scan the timeline of my pictures for the shelter. There's a timeline there. It shows a photo time how we came up to have this building here. It was delivered on December 5, and one of the very coldest days of this year, and it was awesome to see that come. And this brings emotions to me today to see this really happen. You know, it's a tearjerker, but it's something that will last forever.
So actually, the building wasn't built here. It was built in Frenchville at the Tech Center.
You're correct. Yeah.
Because they have a construction program, I think.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And Charles Collins, I think.
Collins is last
Charles
name.
Collins
Right.
is the name. Yes, he is.
Right.
So really, thank you for this. I mean, one of the donations is from the St. John Valley Tech Center.
Exactly. And we have memberships available this year. We send them a newsletter every quarter. We put out a newsletter every year. And also we have a website, www.ourvalleypaws.org, and we're very active on Facebook. Facebook has been a saver for us. It's been a way to publicize and a way to promote our adoptions. And we adopted Candy this morning to a Catherine Williams. You had the interview before. So that's about all I have to say today. But do you have any other questions?
So they can actually go to the website. I mean, people who are looking into a pet,
right,
or a cat specifically,
right.
because I'm assuming there are no dogs here. This is strictly cat.
Yeah.
And so if they're interested in a cat, they can go on Facebook, and you've got descriptions of the cats there and
we do,
pictures.
Definitely. Yeah. On our website, especially, we use Pet Finder, which is a free service that allows us to really put them in there with good graphics and little stories about each cat. So it's kind of nice.
Well, thank you, Connie.
Yeah,
thank you very much, and congratulations on this wonderful building and a great turnout, and
Yeah,
certainly a good service
Thank
to
you,
the
Don.
community. Thank you.
Thank you, Channel 4.
You folks did all the work. Why do I get to do
Now we're setting up for the ribbon cutting.
There's Lisa Bernier.
Keep going.
I could be dangerous with that.
I'm really glad we have a cat shelter. It's been a lot of hard work and a lot of wonderful people, and we are so appreciative that we finally made it work. And Mr. Guimond, our town person here, has been very supportive of us. That's why we gave him the big scissors.
My weapon.
Thank you so much for coming and helping us celebrate. I can't tell you how excited we are.
On the town side of the equation, these folks have been collaborating with the town now for how many years?
Oh, we started in early 2008.
Right.
7 years.
Sort of using a makeshift dog shelter with cats, and we kind of made it all work, and now they've got their own beautiful place thanks to all the volunteers and the folks at the Tech Center. And I'm not going to start naming folks because I'll forget it all, but thank you for what you do for this region. Here we go.
Just give us a couple of minutes. I have a tribute that I want to do for one of the members here, okay? So I'll, just let me go get that.
Lisa. I'm the one that you
Will be brief, my remarks, but one of the reasons we're here today, the main reason we're here today is because of a particular woman who started this group, and her name is Chris Daigle. And she and her administrative assistant, they worked at the University of Fort Kent, and they just saw a couple of cats that they wanted to rescue. And they realized that it was just kind of the tip of the iceberg, that it was a big problem and they wanted to be able to do something about it. And so they started sneaking cats into the office building where they worked, which happened to be next door to the president's building, but they were successful in bringing cats in here and there. And we had nothing. We started out with nothing. And the two purposes were to help these unwanted cats that were outside and to try to address the overpopulation by spay and neuter, which those are the two things that we concentrate on. She always said right from the beginning, we need to have our own shelter. And eventually, she was able to strike a deal with Judy, the then police chief, and use a building that is owned by the town that they used to have dogs come in when occasionally they go off their leash. And so that has been what we've used. We started that in August of 2009. That's what we've had, which has been a godsend, and the town has been extremely supportive. And in terms of having that building in other ways and supporting us. The dispatchers have had the volunteer list, we've had the security of the police department. It's been a wonderful relationship. However, the building had no running water and had no place to isolate a cat when they came in off the street. So we did keep pressing on, and Pris said, she kept saying, we still need to get a shelter, we need to buy land, we need to get a building. And we were saying, well, you know, maybe it's okay to just do this. No, we've still got to forge ahead. So I want you to know that it's due to her that we do have this today. And I want to, on behalf of all of the PAWS members, I want to give her this flag. It's written, and it says PAWS Animal Welfare Society honors Priscilla Daigle for having the vision to found our organization, which resulted
Thank you, PAWS. This is more valuable than a teacher's plaque. Those I put in the closet. This I'll put on the wall. Thank you, PAWS.
So now I know.
I didn't expect it. Thank
This
you.
is
Thank
what
you.
an honor.
It is.
PAWS Animal Welfare Society honors Priscilla Daigle for having the vision to found our organization, which resulted in bettering the lives of countless cats in the St. John Valley. Congratulations, Pris.
Thank you, Don.
So one of the people that was here at the ribbon cutting for PAWS, the PAWS shelter, is
Norma Milton. I'm from Caribou, Maine, and I am president and founder of Halfway Home Pet Rescue in Caribou.
And how does it operate the same way as it does here? It's a kind of a shelter for cats, stray cats that are found. It's not a place where people can bring their cats to. Or
If they need to, we do take owner surrender, yes.
You do.
As space is available. We work primarily with stray cats, and we also work with feral cats. We have worked in a networking situation with PAWS here in Fort Kent, and we have a lovely relationship with them where Jean and I have known each other for 10 or 12 years. There's times we need help with something, they will send us down some help. There are times that they've asked us to go to Cross Lake or Madawaska, and we work together as a group. I'm extremely excited that they have their building. They've worked hard for it. It was so needed in this area.
Yes.
I can't tell you how happy I am for the PAWS Network. They deserve it. They earned it.
Now, do you do the same? Kind of the goal of Valley Cat Haven or the shelter here was really to find a nice home for cats.
Yes. Like PAWS, we're very restrictive in our interview as to what kind of pet families look for. We want to find the right home. It isn't just anyone coming through the door and saying, I want a cat. No. Why do you want a cat? Who wants to be responsible for the cat? Do you want an inside-outside cat, or do you want just an inside cat? If you live on a busy road, we are not going to adopt to you an inside-outside cat because it might get hit by a car.
Right.
So if you're in the country and you want an inside cat, that would be a different story. We also We do all our spaying and neutering like PAWS does. A lot of times if you adopt out an animal and you give them a voucher that says, here, the bill will come to us, get the animal spayed, sometimes they still will not follow through. And that's the problem, you know, it's everybody's busy, but come on, to us, spaying and neutering is 100% the policy and the mission.
So there's a real screening process for prospective adopters.
Oh yes, oh yes. We do. If we have any qualms, we do not hesitate to say no. We have an adoption team of 8 people, and the application must be made out, screened by them. All 8 people must agree that it is the right cat for the right home. So,
quite a process. Is it a lengthy process?
We do not do same day adoption because it takes a while to check the references, to check with the vet. For everybody on the team, people are working full time. They need to have time to overlook the application, decide if they have a question needs to be asked and answered. So it usually will take about 2 days to either get an acceptance or a refusal. If we refuse, we will tell the person the reason. It might be one, that you have had too many cats over the last 5 or 6 years. We wonder why you're going through so many cats. That would be a refusal. It might be that somebody who wants an inside cat has chosen a cat in the shelter that we know wants to be a predator, wants to work in a house and have access to a barn and go after the mice. So we try to match the personality of the people and the need of the people with the personality of the cats. Cats have their own personality. They're not all the same.
Is there one kind of cat, a color, a kind, an age that people look for specifically, or do they?
Siamese and Siamese mixes. You have people lining up at the door wanting that one.
Yeah.
All white cats, the orange cats are very popular. The hardest to adopt is the black and white. I personally feel that the black and white are a lot more lovable because I've had such extensive experience with them. I don't think I've met a nasty black cat, but people have their opinions and their superstitions, and we try to go with it. We do take elderly cats. Right now we have one that's 14, and we look at this cat. We've had blood work done. We know exactly what's going on with Sasha. She's long-haired, pure white, lovely cat, but she's 14. Not too many people will look her way. So what we will do is make her one of our special needs, which means if she doesn't find a home, she'll have a home with us for the rest of her life. PAWS does the same thing. We are a no-kill, totally 100% no-kill shelter. You have to be if you're really in this work.
Now, how many cats in your shelter in Caribou? How many cats do you have currently, and how many can you take in?
We are a small shelter. We rent our facility, and we have foster homes. Our average is right around 25. We have been up to like 60. That is overwhelming. That means everybody's working their heart out, and we're all exhausted. We do have the nice situation where we have partnerships in Portland and Brunswick, and these are also no-kill shelters that now just Thursday I sent 10 beautiful young kittens down to them. They have homes lining up the door, whereas we would run out of space and not be able to help the next one at the door. So I sent the 10 down, which means that we now have space to take in 10 more that are in need. We work well with other shelters that want to work back with us because it's an immense job. You have to have the heart for it. You have to have the energy for it. And if you don't work together, you can't make it happen. I've been so proud of this group up here. It's just, I love these girls. I don't know if there's a man in there. I haven't met there, but I love these girls because of they're totally committed.
They
They've
are.
been committed for many years.
They have.
It's not a fly by night. It's, you know, they're in it for the long term.
And you really have to be committed, because the one thing that I see, I mean, the cats need, like humans do, 24-hour care.
Yes.
I mean, you got to feed them, you got to water them, and you know, for people to come in, they have to come into the shelter very often. I mean, many times during the day to do all sorts of things. I'm assuming that that is the case here and in
Yes, and a
Caribou.
lot of the animals come in that are sick or injured, and that takes care of a large number of the animals that can't come in. We had a kitty named Mindy that one of our directors adopted. She came in March, and she had frostbite, very severe. Her ears were frostbitten, her nose, her tail, we had to have her tail amputated by 5 inches. She lost both her ears. Her feet were so frostbitten she could not walk for almost 3 weeks. So when you have this type of an animal, you need to give him very intensive medical care as well as diligent volunteer care. That took a lot of loving to make her want to live. There was a lot of hours in a rocking chair just letting her know, we know you're hurting, we want to help you. They're my kind of people. I love these girls.
Well, thank you, and thank you for coming out. I know it's a nice early or late spring, summer day. Spring, summer. It feels like summer today, almost 75 degrees. But,
I couldn't have missed this if my life depended on it. I've got bad knees, but if I hadn't had transportation, I think I would have walked from Caribou to Fort Kent. This is special. This is great. I think Fort Kent should be very proud.
We are
This is
actually. The community has been very supportive of the PAWS shelter. Even from the municipal officers that were basically taking some care of the cats, and now of course the cats have got this beautiful home. And yeah, we are. We're proud of the organization and the care and the efforts that they go out to find.
And the bake sales. The bake sales and the tag
fundraising.
sales and all, you know, all of that comes together. Working with the schools, using youth volunteers, getting the the builders, the young builders at the school department, helping with
the building.
All of this is people at their best. People.
Yeah, it says something about the people in the valley and in Fort Kent, and I'm sure you're seeing the same support in Caribou.
Well, I really have to say that I think the Valley has a unique culture. I years ago worked with hospice, and I always said, in the Valley, do you really need hospice? Because the Valley people take care of their own. The Valley people see a need, they see a concern, they jump in. It doesn't matter if they're related, it just matters that you're someone in the community. I love the Valley people. You're real.
Thank you. Very appreciative.
Thank you. Take care.
So here with us today, representing the Chamber of Commerce,
Yeah.
is
Donna Sose. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce.
Now, did you organize this ribbon cutting ceremony, or is this normal?
Well, actually, the open house was already scheduled before I had talked with this group, and what had happened is, one thing that we do offer is anytime somebody's having a new business is coming in, or they've just renovated and they want to do an open house of some kind, that we do provide. We want to celebrate that with them, and we want for the for them to know that the chamber supports what they're doing, and so we offer those ribbon cutting ceremonies, and we have our big brass scissors, we have the big red ribbon, and so we offer that to folks who are starting a new business and coming into town. So in our conversations that came up, and they were excited about doing that with us, so, or having us do that with them.
Well, certainly
so
today the turnout was excellent. I
Yeah.
was amazed at how many people were here, and to have the town manager himself,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
over and do the ribbon cutting, and
Yeah.
quite an honor, for the town manager.
Yes.
I mean, usually the town managers are maybe, out in the back, and some other supporter or something,
Yeah.
usually financial, is there doing the ribbon cutting. But this one, the town manager really seems to show the support, I think,
Yes.
that the community is giving.
Yeah. One of the things that in speaking with other chamber directors throughout the state and to talking to other individuals, one of the gems that we have here in the St. John Valley, we are very supportive of our communities, and the towns are as well, and this is no exception. This is the town of Fort Kent is very supportive when we have a needed service and someone is coming into the area and willing to do that, and so that's one of it makes my job a lot easier.
Sure it does.
It makes selling this place a lot easier because we have wonderful people here. We're people who are supportive and willing to just give of themselves to fill a need, and these folks, I mean, have put in many hours in supporting this kind of activity. So
I was amazed because I know some of the people that are on the that are associated with PAWS, and they've been at it for a long time, and
Yeah.
they're dedicated
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so I can see why the town would become very supportive.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
town and the chamber would be
Yeah.
very supportive.
Yeah.
of,
The chamber focuses, we look at community development, but we look at it through the economic growth component. And sometimes people think that we're just about community development and that's it. But these kinds of services are needed in the community. And if it wasn't for the volunteers, we wouldn't have it. And so there's a part of it, we really appreciate the fact that there are people out there that are willing to do that and to provide that need. And it's not just supporting the Greater Fort Kent area; it's supporting the St. John Valley as well. So it's not just here, but we want to be able to support this group through what we do as much in the capacity that we can.
Now, I mean, right now you're supporting the ribbon cutting. Is there
Yeah.
some kind of long-term support that a business, Valley Cat, Haven,
Right.
or any business for that matter, is there some other continued or long-term support that they get from the chamber?
Well, we do support businesses in the community. One of the things that we are a membership organization, and any Chamber of Commerce is a membership organization. And so there are things that we provide for our members, a lot more of the marketing and supporting their efforts in the economic development. However, there are times when we're also in these rural areas, also the tourist center, and we're the information center for the community. And so when you have these kinds of things in the community, and we're not going to say, we're not going to support you, you're not a member. But there's a piece of it that if people need information about something in the community, the first place they're going to go to is the chamber a lot of times. Not always, but and so having this here and being able to refer people to this is something that we offer, and that's to any business, any service, within the community.
Now, I'm assuming the chamber has some kind of website that people from outside who could actually view all the businesses
Right.
in Fort Kent.
We do have our website is now up. It was down for a period of time, but it is now up and running.
Which is?
It's www.fortkentchamber.com, and all of our memberships are listed there. We do have some other information, and there's still a couple holes that we're looking at filling, but the list of all of the businesses that are members are listed there, along with their contact information and if they have hours of operation, what kind of services they provide. That's all listed there on that website. And also we have a calendar of events, so when there are things like this ribbon cutting or there are community events going on, we make sure to post those on there, so that way when people come into the community, they have an idea of what's going on. So, and if we're missing something you feel free to call.
Is there a number? I'm assuming we're talking about calling the chamber office.
Right.
And the office is open
The official hours are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
daily?
Daily, and that's our visitor information center.
Are we talking Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
However, what I've been telling people is a lot of times I stay past 3 o'clock. So if there's a purple flag on the outside that says open on it, every time I leave the building I take that down. So if it's up, I'm in the building.
Now the office is located where in Fort Kent?
It's at 291 West Main Street.
291 West Main.
Right, which is across the street from Main Street Associates. It's next door to Albert's Jewelry. A lot of people know where those places are.
Yeah.
So
Over in the bridge area.
Right, the bridge area across the street from the Irving gas station.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Donna. I really appreciate it, and
You're welcome.
And thank you for all the support that you're giving,
Yep.
to this organization and to all the other business in town.
Yep.
Really, well appreciated. Thank you.
Okay.
He had abuse. He was abused. Yeah.
They never treated you right.
This is one of the cats that's either being brought in or showcased because of the adoption
He
agency.
uses a wheelchair to get around. Yeah, he does really well.
And here at the newly opened animal shelter, our first adoptee, or adopter and adoptee.
Yeah.
Your name?
My name is Catherine.
Are you from Fort Kent, Catherine, or where are you from?
I'm from Guilford, Maine, but I'm up in Fort Kent going to college here in the nursing program. I'll be in my junior year. And this right here is Luna, and she's coming home with me today.
Her name is Luna.
Luna, yes. They named her Candy, but I've chosen Luna.
Was there a reason for calling her Luna?
Luna means moon, and her coat is nice and silvery, and I thought it fit.
Now, I'm assuming at the university, are you living in the dorm, or do you have an apartment? Or
I have an apartment.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if they're going to talk about...
no.
No, they weren't going to throw you out of the dorm because you've just adopted a cat.
No, they wouldn't throw me out.
Now, what prompted you to adopt a cat?
Well, I lived on a farm my whole life, and to not have animals around you is a little odd, and it's just not, I don't like it at all. So I adopted the cat just because it's nice to have someone to talk to. It might be a little bit weird, but it's nice company to be around, and good therapy.
Good therapy?
Good therapy.
What happens when you're trying to study and the cat jumps all over you?
Well, then that's just a nice excuse to stop and relax a little bit.
Now, how did you find out about the animal shelter itself?
Well, actually in FYE, my roommate was a freshman and they volunteer at the pet shelter, and she told me about PAWS and how they had cats, and I checked it out.
Oh, very good. So what's your plan for the cat right now? I mean, it looks like it's so anxious to get out of the cage.
Yep, my plan is to take it home, get her out of the cage, and get her familiar with her new home.
Well, very good, Catherine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And congratulations on the adoption.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right.
Now, is this an adopted cat? No. But you're holding it.
You want it?
He hates being in the cage.
Oh, you took it out of the cage.
Yeah.
Your name?
No, his name's Simon.
No, your name.
Louise.
Louise?
Yeah.
Your last name?
Bouchard.
Are you from Fort Kent?
Yes. I'm
And
a volunteer.
You're a volunteer here. How long have you volunteered?
It's been about 3-4 months.
And do you like it?
Yes.
Yeah, you get a chance. Oh, what a cute kitten. How old is the kitten?
2 months.
2 months. And the kitten's name?
Simon.
Simon. Very nice. So what do you do here at the shelter?
Well, basically, we come and clean the cages and feed them, and we socialize them. Give them very needed attention.
You do. I'm assuming, does this include rocking them in a chair?
If that's what they want.
Really? Now, how do they tell you? How does a cat tell somebody that they want to be petted?
They're
It's simple.
around
They
you.
don't get off.
They hang around you all the time?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you. That is certainly a nice little kitten. Oh, look at this. Irresistible.
Well,
So
Simon is in the isolation room right now because he's off the street and he has a little URI, upper respiratory infection in his eye. So he has to be separated from the other cats, and that's his kennels over there. They're isolation kennels. They're specially built so the infectious airborne won't be contagious to other cats. There's a table on the side for the vet to examine the cats in this room, and we've been that's been donated by people, and we've experienced a lot of donations and stuff.
So I can see Simon's cage, because his name's on the Simon's cage.
When they come in, they either get a pink sheet or a yellow sheet. Pink is for girls and yellow is for boys, and they have an activity log checking their eating and urination schedule and all that.
Well, certainly, Simon, looks like you've got a good home. Certainly is very content at the moment, and I'm assuming this one is up for adoption as well.
Once he's vet cleared, he will.
Once he's vet cleared, he'll be fine. So if somebody's looking for a cat, so here we have, looks like a rocking chair. And the rocking chair?
It was donated by Kappa Delta sorority the girls' sorority at the college.
And this is what I'm assuming it's not used by the cats. That it's somebody sits and rocks the cat.
To assist socialization, like Louise was saying.
Very good.
And this tower here was donated by Vi Daigle. It's,
now, what's the tower? What's the tower for?
For them to, it's right here. For them to play in and increase their dexterity and coordination. And when kittens are young, if they're not feral, they tend to not play. So we try to encourage them to play and jump. And there'll be windows here that they can sit in and enjoy the sun too.
Now I noticed over on the windowsill, there's looks like a hammock of some kind.
Yeah, that's a what do they call a shelf? Window shelf.
A window shelf.
Mm.
So do a lot of the cats use that one?
Yeah. Well, we just moved in yesterday, Dawn, so give us a chance.
We moved in yesterday, but at the old shelter, these two fellers right here, our yellow and white ones, love the window. So I'm sure they'll be testing that out quite shortly.
Now here we are inside the shelter itself. Now these are all cages for the cats?
Kennels, yeah.
Yeah.
The kennels. They're called kennels, not cages. Okay.
Right.
Now I noticed they all have some kind of like Jerome here. Seems to be enjoying it out there. He's got his own kennel, and he's got his own sheet. Is that an information sheet?
Yeah. Each cat, if they're males, they get blue. If they're females, they're pink. Like Howie here is a female, so she's pink. Now, every now and again, we get a cat in that we have no idea just yet. So we start off with a white sheet, and once we figure out the sex, we go to that sheet. And that tells us where they were found, when they were brought in, gives us some basic information, did they have any shots, what do we know about the cat? And then it gets filled in as we get things done. And the vets will, when they take care of some stuff, they'll also add the information. The sheets go with them to the vet.
Now your name is?
Gary.
Gary
Bouchard.
Are you from Fort Kent?
Usually.
Now do you volunteer here at the shelter?
Yes.
You do?
I volunteer with my wife Louise.
With Louise. Yeah, we met her a few minutes ago. Actually, she was cuddling this cute kitten.
I know, and I hope she doesn't get any ideas.
Oh my God. Now let me ask this. Do you have any at home? Any kittens? Any cats?
No kittens.
Cats?
Cats? Yes.
Oh, were they all adopted from here?
No. Actually, they weren't all adopted from here. The vast majority of them are rescues, though.
They're rescues.
In fact, they were all rescues.
Wow.
Of one nature or another on our part. We just couldn't keep them, leave them be where they were.
So you've got 3 layers of kennels.
This is a newer type kennel. Like Connie's, I think it was mentioned by some other people. These we have separation walls here. If we wanted to, we could take them off, but probably we won't. Right now, this has the capacity of putting 2 here, 2, so we got 6.
6 there in that particular.
And it's a rolling unit, so
okay.
It's much easier to move around, clean underneath, and everything. So much easier on us.
Now the ones over here, like Jerome's, is an awful large cage.
Here.
I wanted to take him out.
Oh, you want him? Okay.
Can you hold him here? Don't let him loose.
Well, if you want, we'll let him have his. Hey, Jerome. Jerome. Hey, you want to come out or not?
I think Jerome is having a nap.
Yeah.
I think more than a nap. I think he's napping, but he certainly has a nice view of the outside.
Yeah.
So Jerome has been here for some time?
The in date?
I'm not sure what his in date is for Jerome. He hasn't been here that long. Only since the 16th.
16th of...
So we've had him about 2 weeks.
You've had him for 2 weeks. And you're looking for a home for Jerome.
Connie, is he vet cleared?
What's the issues with him? He had
I know he took care of the...
revolution, ears.
He's
been neutered?
Yeah, he's been neutered.
I think he's cleared to go, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on adoption.
Okay.
Pull him out of there, Jared. Hey. Come on, babe. There's AC in here too, which is nice.
It's very comfortable in here. I mean, it's warm on the outside. Oh my goodness, Jerome. What a nice temperament. Oh, I can tell he loves being scratched.
Oh, he loves it.
Wow. Well, you certainly have a nice place. This is well air conditioned. Certainly a nice shelter for the cats.
You might want to show the heat pump that was installed. It's AC and electrical right there. The heating.
So the building is actually a modern, very modern with this new energy efficient heating systems. Right. It's got a heat pump in it.
Right. Yeah. And I want to direct you to the photos on the wall that I made a poster of the building of the shelter. Tech Center, we had the original planning of our shelter with free labor, and we paid for the materials through the grants that we acquired. First we started with the planning, then they started the initial construction inside the building, then they made a one cube, and then they did the siding and different throughout the 1 year span. This is the knee wall that was erected here. This is the students at the Tech Center that worked on it. This is the land and the slab that was built by Rocky Bard, the cement slab, and then we had the knee wall that they put. Notice how it snowed over here since then. And then on December 5, the coldest day of winter, we moved our shelter on a flatbed. We had 2 trucks come in with shelter in pieces. It was like putting together a puzzle. And here it goes off onto the knee wall. The men really had fun that day. They were in their glory doing that. And then here's the, as you see, the roof is being assembled, putting on the isolation room. This is what it came out to be. Then they executed putting some stairs there. This is the interior, and this is that tower. And when we did the painting on May 24th, these are some of the volunteers. That's Jeannie, and Laura. And here's the finished product. We also have a shed that we erected, we bought locally, and so we're ready to roll for hopefully, and I think we're comfortable in our finances to be at this position right now. Thank you.
Now I noticed, Connie, you've got a whole series of photographs here of different cats.
Right, those are cats that were adopted, yeah.
They've been adopted.
All these have been adopted, yeah. Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
So they all have nice homes now.
Yeah, yeah. They have homes, and we have for the first time we have water and sewer pieces here, a sink and a toilet. At the other shelter, we had no access to water or sewer. The sink was donated by Central Building Supply, and we have a backup electrical heat in here and in the isolation chamber too. So.
So you've got good facilities here again that have been donated.
And here's the table for the vet to examine the cats in both rooms.
Well, certainly you have a nice shelter, and I really want to thank you for the opportunity here to show people, what we have in Fort Kent and how some of the cats are well taken.